When I saw you got that huge order, I ran to my husband and I was like, look at this. That is the biggest amount I've ever seen a new Fiverr seller get.
I quoted her for $5,000. She said the budget's 2,000. We countered at 2,500. Yeah, it really set the bar high.
Madison, I am super excited to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
When I saw you got that huge order, I was like, oh, I ran to my husband and I was like, look at this. That is the biggest amount I've ever seen a new Fiverr seller get. So tell me all about this huge win that you got.
Yeah, it really set the bar high. I took your course. I watched your course so many times. You were the only voice I heard all day for 3 weeks because I would just play it and take notes. So I worked really hard on my intro video and all my gigs. I followed like step by step. And then the first month it was crickets and I was like, what? And then finally I got this big ask and it was wild. So I am like super creative, but not the most business savvy at all. My boyfriend of 15 years, he is very much business savvy. So he said, Mad, you can do what you got to do. If you need help with the back and forth, I want to help you. So I was like, okay, I need help. So basically what happened is she sent me this really large ask. It was like 5 videos, testimonial style, but not controversial.
Okay, perfect.
And like 60 B-roll clips, additional hooks, like something that was going to take me a lot of time. It was a huge order.
Yeah.
So it was very detailed. So I sent them my price and I rounded up like insanely. I quoted her for $5,000, which was based on the amount of work involved and my value. Yeah. And I did that knowing that I would not make that much. So that was like intentional. I knew that she was never going to say yes, but it was totally purposeful. And of course, she came back questioning like the cost of my Fiverr package because it listed a lower price per video. And mine does say unlimited B-roll clips. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So initially I typed up okay, here's an option B and here's an option A and B. And my boyfriend was like, no, we need to make sure that she feels like she's in control and she's taking the power. Don't do that. So I was like, oh God, I need him so well. He said, he's so good like this. My mind doesn't work like that. I'm like, let me just give her 2 options and she could pick. He was like, no, don't do that. So I said, okay. I was like, let me hand it to you. I was like, I trust you. So he said she needs to feel like she has the power and that she's like making the decision because it's her money. So instead of justifying the number and like doing the small math and like telling her it's this much for this and it's this much for this, he focused because he helped me write it on like breaking down exactly what she was going to be getting and how this was more than just 5 videos and actually a full content library that she could repurpose. And then we also make sure we asked what the main concern was, whether it was about paying for things that they didn't need or she didn't need this company or overall the budget. So she came back and she said the budget's 2,000 and my boyfriend was like, let me work some magic, and we countered at 2,500 and explaining that I would still give them everything they needed while fairly covering my time and effort because I was like, he's like, don't lowball. He said it has to be worth it for you. You can do this. You're great at this. And I was like, yep, okay. And he said, and if it's a no, it's a no. It's no big deal. And I was like, okay. But she agreed to the 2,500, which was wild. So I pocketed 2,000 of it, which is insane because it was 2 days of work. So like $1,000 a day is like pretty damn amazing in my book. So I would say that clearly, like, it was communicating. He was like, your value, set it high, don't go down. Because initially I think I had told you in the group, I said, I think that for a first time Fiverr seller, I think my prices are too high. And I was considering lowering them, but I was like, F that. No, I'm not going to do that. It's okay. And I'm glad I did it because this would not have happened.
Yep. I completely agree. And first of all, I need to say that I need to talk with your boyfriend and maybe he needs to do a guest training because that sounds incredible. I love that. I love the terminology of like content library. I think that's something that like all of us could use, especially when they want 60 B-roll. They want like a big chunk of footage. Those are assets for them to be able to use. So that's amazing. Did you add in ad rights? I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he did. I was like, this part of the course talks about ad rights. He's okay, let's do it. I gave her like, it was nice. I was very generous. I gave her, God, was it a year or maybe a year and a half? We were like, it's your first gig. Give it all to her. Let's just do it all. And then we can go back, he said, and then let's edit the gigs to make sure everything's, because I think I need to get rid of the unlimited B-roll clips. Because he said, you wrote unlimited. And I was like, I know, but I thought it would be like 10 to 15. He said, you wrote it, stick to it. And I said, you're right. We can edit after. So there was like
Yes.
lots of learning also in the first 2 days. Who knew that this lovely bird nest outside my house that I loved would be drastically the audio of my videos, like hearing birds, like you can hear that
What?
stuff. And like car closing doors, church
Oh my
bells, like
gosh.
so I learned so much so that when I have my next gig, it will take me like an even
Oh.
shorter amount of time.
Oh, wow. Girl,
It was interesting, yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That is huge. $2,500 for your very
Yeah.
first order and yay.
Yay!
Yay. That is super exciting and the fact that you accounted for the 20%. I'm happy that you countered so that
Yeah.
you at least get the 2,000. You're not
Right.
going less because of the 20%. So that is so incredible and I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you had your boyfriend there to help you with the
He's,
negotiation because
he's amazing. Yeah.
that's a really big struggle for a lot of people and we try and go through it in the group, but it's hard because you're not in it. You're not like
Right.
there. You don't know all of the details. So I love that he was able to really power level you there. Were there a lot of similar scenes with the 60 B-roll?
Yeah, so this came from a niche gig, which I know you will probably talk about. I have a YouTube and an Instagram that's called Mad Crafty. I crochet, I body paint, I Cricut. I have a whole entire craft room. So I did most of my B-roll in that room. So it wasn't hard for me because a lot of the stuff they wanted, I owned already. They wanted a big canvas, they wanted journals, they wanted sketchbooks, and like
Oh
I have
my
that stuff
God.
already. So it's perfect.
Wow. That makes me so happy because
Yeah.
I always say like with the you know me already. I'm like I'm always
Mhm.
talking about niche gigs, but
Yep.
those are the people that are willing to pay
Right.
that high amount. And now that makes even more sense because it wasn't just your everyday UGC gig that really
No.
anybody could do. Like it was very
Yeah.
specific to you.
It was an app for artists. So it was the gig is for an app for artists.
An app? Do they have a
Well,
lot of
never
downloads?
never
Oh,
heard of them,
okay.
but not small. The app was cool. It was great because it came from the niche gig. She must have typed in arts and crafts. And now my boyfriend
Yeah.
told me that I'm the first video that pops up on regular Fiverr. If you type in arts and crafts pro, it's actually your video, your UGC comes up in
Oh,
Fiverr Pro. But if it's regular Fiverr, he said that when he looked, my video came up, and I was like, that could be great on the first
oh my
page.
gosh, that is
Yeah,
incredible. More are just
yeah,
going to come in. They won't
yeah.
come in as often. Like it's not going to
Right.
be every day for those specialty gigs, but like you saw, the ones that do come in are going to be like bigger
Wow.
budgets, bigger
Yeah.
projects, that kind of thing. So what have you learned now? You said with the sounds. What have you learned from that first gig now moving on to future gigs?
I am an actress first. That's what I do. That's also why I'm able to do this because we have a crazy flexible schedule. I'm not always working.
Yeah.
And sometimes for auditions, only sometimes when there's a lot of copy, I will use the teleprompter app. But using it during an audition is very different than using it for a testimonial sort of
Oh,
video.
really?
So I was like playing with eyeline. I think I was really I was crazy about it. I was like, I don't want them to think I'm reading this like a lot of text.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think that I spent too much time like going crazy about like there it's gonna look like my eyeballs are reading when I think the first video was probably fine. But I
Okay.
did learn like in my app where exactly I like it and like sort of like where to put it, the tripod position in my room, what works good, what time of day is the natural light hitting my face. You can't start too
Yes.
late because the sun starts to go down and there's no continuity, where I sweat and like how you can see
Love
it,
that.
like the type of makeup to use, like all technicalities that I'm like,
Wow.
okay, now I know for next time and I won't spend any time doing that.
That's amazing. I feel like no
Yeah.
one really takes that into consideration, but
No.
because of your background, which is what I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you next, tell me
Yeah.
about your background. You're an actress, so tell me about how you got started with acting and all of that, and then segued into UGC.
I come from a very artsy family and I've been doing commercials and like print work since I was like a baby basically.
Oh,
It's all I've
wow.
ever wanted to do is be behind the camera as it's really, I don't know if but everyone knows it's a really hard career to have. I went to school, performing arts school, I went to theater school.
Yeah.
I'm represented. It's great. I go on auditions, but that doesn't mean a gig. Sometimes the great gigs I do are like once a month the whole day. So
Oh, wow.
unless you're
Okay.
like on Broadway or a series regular on a TV show, you have a lot of time. So even if you book this
Oh,
great audition, it could be 1 day shoot or a 2 day shoot or maybe a week. So I
okay.
have a lot of time. And this has been my life for a long time. And little did I know, I've been doing UGC for years, but the words UGC weren't in my vocabulary. So I didn't know that I was doing UGC. I was just working for free basically for years. So it's like insane. I have 2 YouTube channels that I put in my back pocket for now. But one was Mad Crafty, which I did crafts. I produced it. I was the girl in the video. I used like high quality stuff. My videos were really good, but it never really blasted off like I hoped it would. So then I transferred on to doing a children's channel, but read alouds. I have a pink wig. Again, really great videos that also really never picked up, unfortunately, for whatever reason. And in a lot of those things, it's so hard. And I was reviewing things. So I would be reviewing these craft things that I would buy myself. And like a lot of, do you know what I mean?
Yes,
or sticker subscriptions. So I'm literally making UGC and I didn't know it, which was wild. And then I started working as a content creator for an entertainment company because I am a face painter and body painter, but I was running all of her Instagram reels. So I'd be editing all day, every day for 2 years. So I have so much random little experience in videos. And I remember my coworker said to me, he's like, why don't you charge people for your videos? And I was like, I don't even know what that means or how I do that. I was like, huh?
Wow.
But I've literally been doing it. And then basically to wrap it up, this most recent August, I was on TikTok and I was like, what's a TikTok affiliate? How do I become one? I was very lucky to become one fast. I took a course from Kira.
Fast Track Girl, she's the best.
She taught me, just like your course, it was like how to be a TikTok shop affiliate. It was amazing. And then in her course, she introduced me to you. And then I took your course and I was like, oh, I can do this. I was like, this is in my wheelhouse. And then here we are.
Oh my God. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. It's been like, what, 5 months? Like this has all happened so like, it's wild. It's really wild.
You know what? I really think that TikTok Shop has just, like, you had all those skills. You were doing it. You were doing the hardest part. You were doing the work. And then TikTok Shop was just like, hey, show up a little bit more, review this product, and you can make some sales. And I feel like it has become the perfect segue for people like you who have been wanting to do content. You've been doing content. You've been doing, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I can actually make an income from this? Hey. Hold the phone. Let's do this. Let's rock and roll.
And you don't have to be an influencer, which is the crazy part, because that's what I always thought. I was like, my stuff is so good, but no one watches it because I'm not an influencer and I don't have the following. And then UGC was like, move over. You don't need a following. And it was amazing. And I was also doing, I've been on Flip for over 2 years, literally making product reviews. I've been doing this for so long, not knowing that I was doing it.
Were you making money on Flip? That's incredible.
Yes.
Really?
I actually just the other day got accepted into their creator fund, which was like a huge deal for me. I got a grant, which was insane. I apply. I don't know if you heard about it. Did you hear about it?
Oh, no. I've just heard of the app Flip when the ban was going on.
Girl, I was on Flip before TikTok for 2 years.
Yeah.
Flip is incredible. The reason I think it's incredible is how on TikTok Shop, how you want your videos to not feel like an ad.
Yeah.
And then on UGC, you're basically making an ad.
Right.
But on Flip, you're trying to sell something. So making videos is way easier. This is my cup and I'm going to show you why I love it. It's a shopping app. People want to be sold to on there. So I had a really easy time making those videos because you take high quality shots, you say something funny. So I did do well on Flip, and Flip boomed after Flip thought TikTok was shutting down. So now tons of users moved on to Flip. Yeah. And it's taken off. And because I think I've been there for so long, things are going really well. And then the creator came on and he was like, I'm giving out $1 million in grants. All you have to do is apply. Here's the criteria. And I applied a month ago. And then I got one. And I was like, it's all happening. Like when it rains, it pours kind of thing.
Yes. That feels so good.
It feels so good. Everything's like coming together. And my brain is like, finally something's working after doing the YouTube for years and like giving my blood, sweat, and tears to it with like little to no outcome. It sucks. Like when you put your hard work.
Yes.
And this
100%.
This is easier than all of that. I don't have to do anything. I'm talking and getting free product. So it's really great.
That's incredible. That is such a win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really exciting. If I can ask, like, how much do you make on average from Flip in a month? If you don't mind me asking.
So it's crazy. So it fluctuated. When I joined 2 years ago, it was like, there'd be some months where I would make 500, some months where I would make 30. But the past 2 months, I've made $2,000 a month.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I actually made $1,000. Sorry, no, I think it's more, 1,000 a week actually, which
Holy
isn't.
crap.
I know. I'm telling you, you have to get on there because you
Wow.
can repost all of your content on there basically and
Okay.
make money off of it. We can
Okay,
talk about
fine.
that because I could talk about Flip for
Yes.
hours. I love the app. I absolutely
I
love the app.
love that. And I love that everything has just really, I'm all for pivoting. Just a
Yes.
little bit. Just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I feel like a lot of people hear the word pivot and they think of, I'm going to quit that thing and I'm going to move to, and it's not. It's simply just changing direction ever so
Yes.
slightly, like 1 inch to the right. And all of a sudden, everything just flows smoothly. It
Mm-hmm.
happens faster. And I feel like UGC is that perfect pivot, especially like for somebody who's making content, TikTok shop, and they're getting frustrated with not making
Yeah.
money. And now you're working and it's just like a little tiny tweak, and all of a sudden it just starts rolling. How has your TikTok shop success been? Has it been good? Has it been bad? Like slow? Are you focusing a lot on it?
I go for the 10 videos a day on TikTok.
Do
This
you
past
really?
week, yeah, this past week I've been sick, so I haven't been able to. But
Mm-hmm.
normally I batch create. I'll make 100 videos in one day.
Stop
I
it.
Yeah, and then I'll
Oh my
spend
gosh.
the next day editing everything. I use Final Cut Pro because I used to use that for you. I just knock the videos out and I go for 8 to 10 videos on TikTok Shop a day.
Okay.
I feel like since August I've made take home and commission maybe like 7,000-ish.
Total.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
total, which
Okay.
I think is okay, but I think
Yeah.
I also saw a lot of the girls and creators saying like 20,000 in 1 month. I
Yeah.
very much know now what works
Okay.
and what doesn't work, but I truly believe in the farming method. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like
No.
you plant 100 crops. Some are going to be dead and some are going to come, but the more crops you plant, the more chances you have of something to
I love
flourish.
that.
So
Yep.
10 videos a day, you have more chances. That's why I try
That
for
makes
it.
sense.
After I took your course, I said to myself, wow, it would be so great to move it to 5 videos a day if I can get money from Fiverr instead of going
Right.
crazy on TikTok.
Okay.
So I would love it to be less, honestly,
Yeah.
but I have the time. I don't have children. I live at home. I'm doing all of this so I can have a child with my boyfriend. So I'm like, I need to give all my energy into making these videos so I have all the chances to make all the money. And it's fun.
You're
It's so
so
fun. I'm
smart.
obsessed with it. I love it.
I love
I'm
that.
addicted. I'm absolutely addicted.
It's
I'm
so
like
fun.
gambling. I'm like in a
Right?
casino. It's oh this video like you're putting all of these seeds in and then you're like
Yeah.
seeing what works and then you
Which one's gonna
replicate. You
pop
get
off?
like a it's a high. You get like a weird
It
high
is.
from it.
It
Yeah.
is 100% agree. And I absolutely love that because now is the time to hustle. I did the exact same thing before my
Yep.
husband and I decided to have kids. I was like, I want to be 100% self-employed. I want to raise my
Yes.
kids. I want to be with them.
Yep.
Now is the time to hustle. And before we had kids, I had this really booming web design business. This was like now 12 years ago. And I was like, I was working every day. And you are on the right
That's
track.
me. That's literally exactly I am doing exactly that. And that's
Yep.
the
Yep.
motivation. And then I'm also
Yes.
able to work out and drink matcha at 12 o'clock and be in my pajamas. It's like the life. And then if
It's the
auditions
life.
come, I audition. Like,
Yes.
also for me, I
Yes.
was like, if I can sustain this, I can live as an actress for forever.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
doing all of those things, they add up and they're that multiple stream of income.
Right.
Which is like what I've been really talking about because you cannot rely on one source. And with TikTok Shop and with UGC, there are so many opportunities. Now, do you repurpose your TikTok Shop videos over to Flip or Amazon Influencer?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I repurpose, but also I will edit to make them. It's a pet peeve of mine to be on Flip and to see someone click the link in the book. I don't like that's just I don't like when it's clearly repurposed.
Oh, yes.
I'm like I don't want to be I want to like make it look like it was for Flip. So if I have to
Yes.
go back and take 5 minutes and edit it and even take my microphone and say something about Flip, I'll do that.
Smart.
Because I want it to look like I posted for that app.
So I remember you posting your intro video in the community.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, she's going to do so well. So
Oh,
now
thank
that
you.
I was just like floored. I was like, mark my words right now. She's going to do well.
My favorite part of Edge was like the niche gig Edge. And
Yeah.
I'm just one of those people who I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about and good at, the crafts being one of them. So I did the arts and crafts as my first niche gig. I did my dog as our second niche gig with pet.
Okay.
And I'm actually a daughter of a pastry chef and extreme foodie. Like I had an Instagram for food. So now my
Oh,
boyfriend's like,
wow.
we need to have a food niche gig. Because
It's
someone
huge.
had it's huge, and shooting food is my favorite kind of content. I love to shoot food.
I know we talked about it a little bit, but how would you sum up your experience with Edge, with the community, and everything that you've learned from the programs and all that?
Without you, I wouldn't really know what Fiverr was, to be honest. I didn't know what it was, so I'm literally here talking to you because of your Edge course. The thing about Edge, for me, I need someone telling me, number one, do this. Number two, do this. And that's exactly what your course is like.
Oh,
That's how I learn. So I'm visual. So I watch you, I copy what you do. And so for me, it was like a seamless, an easiest, yes,
gosh,
really
awesome.
to the point, really great. And just crystal clear is what I need. And I think a lot of people need too. I hate to buy a course and then be like, what do they mean? Or what does that stand for? And I just can't stand that. It was, I'm only on Fiverr literally because of you. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Do you like the community? How do you feel? I feel like you're active in there. What do you think about the community? Are you part of other communities that you can compare? What do you feel about that?
I always say that if it weren't for my groups on Facebook, I would delete Facebook because I'm like over the Facebook fakeness in terms of friends and stuff. Like, happy birthday, I don't know you, whatever. So I honestly just go onto Facebook for the group. I love it, but I sometimes have an immediate question and I need it answered right away. So I know that Facebook groups aren't great for that because other people have lives. I ask for like opinions. I try and do it hours before I'll need it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So that I give people like a time to answer. But the admins are amazing. They answer so quickly.
Oh my God.
They're so helpful and so nice. And I'm like, yes, this is what I need. I love it. Like very on top of it. I love to have a community to watch and support. And it's just like fun.
I'm all about manifesting.
Yes.
So tell me out loud, what are your goals for this year for UGC and beyond?
I would love to like have a take home of $50,000 in the next 12 months. On file, let's just like up it and say that. And I want the messages flowing, and I know they will soon.
Yes, it will happen.
I am so ready. Bring it on. I got all the time.
I think that's totally doable. With everything you're doing, girl, it's going to happen, especially with one TikTok shop video is going to blow up. You're going to be busy on Fiverr. You're going to be... It's going to happen.
Let's go. I'm so ready.
What advice would you give someone just starting out where you were just like 2 months ago with your UGC journey? What would you give them as advice to get started?
I would say, number one, definitely take your course. But another answer would be, I don't know, you gotta, I feel like, really practice being comfortable with talking on camera is really important. Even if you're just, it sounds silly, but it's a really big skill to be able to do it. And number one, not feel silly. And number two, feel natural and authentic. And I think the only way you do that is by practicing. And that's where Flip comes in, because practice making reviews for other apps and like you'll just get better at getting to the point quick. And I don't know, it's just a skill that you just have to practice it. It's not gonna come overnight, I don't think so. But yeah, it's practice, you just get better. You just literally get better by doing.
I love that.
And practicing, And obviously your course, hello, amazing course. Not even just saying that, so good.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm actually you're gonna be excited because I'm gonna be bundling my Edge program with my UGC production and Fiverr profit system. So I'm putting them all together in one.
Smart.
So everybody who has Edge will automatically get upgraded to the bundle.
Wow.
Yes. And actually in UGC production, I talk about that. I talk about finding the right windows, finding the right time of day to record your content, like how to use the teleprompter, all of that, because it's going to speed things up and you're going to make more per hour if you know how to do all of that. So
1000%. Agree. Totally. Agree.
Madison, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This was so much fun. This was so much fun.